I refuse. Gary looks funny though.
Yeah, Kenzie refuses but thinks Gary looks funny. So take that as you will, citizens of the internet.
Um, there's a SpongeBob anime that's cursed. You will not convince me otherwise.
Watch the SpongeBob anime. It is amazing.
No.
Mr. Krabs talking about the source of the Krabby Patty, the dark patty, Yami no Baka.
It is so cursed. You cannot say otherwise.
It's incredible, and also I'm finally back inside. Oh my god, it's so cold out.
Hello, Anthony. You don't know us, Cam, but you will. Raptor, I can hear you shivering.
I am shivering.
You're also breathing really heavy into your mic.
Sorry, it's just that, god damn, it was so cold out.
Did you not wear a jacket? Your silence says it all.
Does the sweatshirt count as a jacket?
I immediately tried this for that image. Thank you, Mike. I knew you would appreciate it. I want another stream. Raptor shivering because someone spilled Pepsi on his blanket, so he can't use them now. Hey, DC. Yeah, today's lesson, don't drink Pepsi in bed.
Don't drink Pepsi in the bed. Done.
Steam Stream 2 Hydroelectric Boogaloo.
Why is this named Random Spinpastas Magic Kingdom 2?
Mark 2.
Yeah, no. I've decided what that means. It means Magic Kingdom.
I'm actively drinking Pepsi and damn it, Cam! Did you learn nothing from the last time? Mortal Kombat 2. Fine, fuck all of you.
I was actually just recently watching, like, just because I thought it was funny. I was watching, like, the new Mortal Kombat, which is the latest one. What, 11?
Yeah, I think so.
I was watching like the funny banter ones for matches. I'll do that for Injustice also because I think they're funny.
Gotcha. Hello, Jamie. I had my damn Switch drenched in makeup remover. I'm doing great. All right.
My favorite though are the ones where like a response is so clearly meant for something else, so the conversation doesn't flow at all.
Alright, so yeah, like the title says, we're just gonna do random pastas today on Spinpasta.
Pull up the wiki. So, would you like to go first in our selection this evening?
Did.
Oh no. I'm scared.
Oh boy. This could be really bad just from the title alone. Cowboys and Indians.
I'm going to assume that's just the game. They mean the game, but...
So there's the link in the chat.
Oh, thank you for posting. I was just going to search it.
Hopefully none of our stories include real people this time. Oh my god, right? Yeah, I'm not over that. I'm not gonna get over that.
What? The one from last time, or are we talking about the Reddit one?
The one that Grant read.
Oh, is this
about yeah, some bitch, for her high school paper, like glorified a real life train crash that killed like 50 some people. Used specifically one of the victims who was underage and decide, I'm going to tie this in with Suicide Mouse.
So that was a good stream, everyone. I'm gonna go now and never go on the internet again. And I'm gonna sit in the shower for the rest of the evening and cry.
But
And yes,
somehow,
fully dressed.
still not as bad as the one about Hitler being the assassin of President Lincoln and the author role-playing Hitler's son in the comments.
I will say this: looking at r/no sleeps, that's just a thing that you do in no sleeps.
No,
you don't break the immersion.
No, you don't pretend to be the son of Hitler.
Look, I'm not saying that it's still completely fucked up, but I'm just saying I'm not surprised about that. Because that's just what you do in no sleep, so.
You heard me, Cam.
This goes without saying, but if one of your rules of your horror write and subreddit is that you can't criticize stories, then you might as well not have it.
Tim, were you not there for that stream?
I was there.
She said Cam.
Oh.
The 102-year-old son of Hitler, yeah. Anyway, and now we're on to Cowboys and Indians.
I don't know what's going on with my stream. It's being slow, but that's just on my end.
Huh.
I think my laptop's just running a little slow today.
Apparently not. I don't remember this. Oh boy. Alright, so it was around early 2013 when I first heard about Candle Cove. Oh boy. It was an old show about a little girl named Janice who found herself in a world with pirates. But the show was creepy, to say the least.
Who found herself in a world with pirates, so reality.
Yeah.
You know, pirates aren't a fictional thing, right?
All the pirates were puppets and marionettes, and their villain, the Skin Taker, was just messed up. I looked into his background for quite a while now and began to find some interesting things about the original director. No, you didn't. Such as another one of his shows. Why was that a separate sentence? I found myself in Somalia. Thank you, Mike.
The show about pirates that were made up of puppets and marionettes just reminds me of Muppet Treasure Island and my favorite meme, which dissects the fact that Tim Curry was so good in that show because he treated himself as a fellow Muppet, while Michael Caine in Muppet Christmas Carol treated the Muppets as fellow actors. It's so fucking true.
It was called Cowboys and Indians. I didn't know what to make of it at first. I found it in an old TV guide from 1965. No, you didn't.
No, you did not.
Raptor, can you move your mic above your nose?
This better?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Advertising it to be released on November 1st. I began to see if I could find any existence of it online. What? But all I found were dead ends and a few mentions of some character named Rootin' Tootin' Randy.
Best character, hands down.
Kenzie, you should really wait until we see where this story goes before saying anything like that.
Okay, fine. Best character name. Don't at me.
After my intense search... Oh, yeah. So intense.
Yeah. So I found a TV guide. Oh, let's see. TV guide, 1995. Nope, can't find anything. Also, why the flying fuck do you... How the fuck did you find a TV guide from 1965?
Exactly.
Maybe he found it. Maybe he found it on one of those old GeoCity sites.
If this story goes well, that'll be my new server name. Okay, DC sounds good. After my intense search for anything on the show, I noticed the clock said 3:16 a.m. Oh my god. Are we really going here? So I packed it up and went to bed. I packed it in. Found it behind the wallpaper. It was a very old house. When I awoke, I bolted to the door. What? Where I found my Sunday paper lying there. I picked it up when a flyer fell out for a store known as Vinny's VHS.
Well, that's a money laundering business if I've ever heard one.
Yeah,
How very convenient.
it's about as big of a scam as a modern day VCR repair company. I hear they target old men who like night court. It claimed to specialize in old television shows, so I decided to put breakfast on the back burner and drove over to the store. What?
I mean, no one cares if you decided to eat or not. I don't remember us fucking asking.
It was it was on the ugly side of town. Where the weeds ran wild. growing through cracks in the pavement.
Look, guy, I appreciate your effort, but we know this is already going to be dead on arrival.
I wonder what this person has to say about the people who live on the ugly side of town.
I'll respect the hustle a little bit, but there's just no point, my guy.
I've been waiting for you to fix my VCR since 2010.
All right, I want to be the guy. There's no indication that the person working at this store is in fact Vinny, but that is my line of reasoning, and I want to voice Vinny.
Okay.
Cool.
I approached the old building in the plaza when I started having second thoughts. Also, what plaza? You didn't say that you approached a plaza. I knew I had to go inside. You have to go inside.
Up. You said it. You said it. You said the line.
I heard the infamous line echo in my head. I opened the door with a little ding indicating my presence.
Why are you making so much build up to walking into a VHS store? Like, my fucking god. I hate when stories get like this. You only need to be ominous when the scene is fucking tense. You're walking into a video store. Alright. Welcome to Vinny's VHS.
Oh, what a surprise. The man said, not even looking up from his magazine. Hi, I was wondering if you had anything regarding the show Cowboys and Indians. It's an old show, so I understand if you don't have...
I know it's really apt regarding this character, but God, Chad, that voice makes me really want to give you a wedgie.
Good. He cut me off and said,
Oh God, no. Listen, sir, you don't know what you're talking about. You probably are thinking of something else, like a movie or Bonanza. Yes, that's it. Bonanza is on aisle 5. Thank you, come again. Is it my turn?
yeah.
I was turned off by this statement. That's what she said. What the fuck was that, Raptor?
What? No, keep reading.
Hang on, no, Chad, I'm concerned. Raptor's been taken over by a swarm of bees.
No, keep reading. We need to get to this line.
Okay, fine. I was turned off by this statement and decided to ask him why he was so reluctant. I was in that show, kid. Please don't make me show you the scar.
Sir, I did ask you to show me anything. I'll leave now.
I was there, man. he promptly rolled up his pant leg
I need an adult.
and revealed a poorly stitched scar. Quick, can we find a way to get Matt's leg scar up on the screen?
Oi.
Ever since I saw it, the reason I think it's because I'm not so grossed out by it is because it so looks not like a scar to me. I just see it looks like just dried wax on his leg, which should make it more disturbing, but my brain, I think, physically refuses to connect the fact that that is probably where a terrible gash once was. Anyway, I began to back away until he threw 2 VHS tapes at the back of my head. Okay, I actually kind of dig this story. Maybe it's not supposed to be taken seriously.
Okay,
What?
I was gonna say, I know you're doing this voice, but can I do this line?
No, I want to do it.
Alright.
We can do it together.
No.
Okay. Take them and never come back, man. I know I shouldn't change voice halfway through when this character's leaving, but now I have to do an old Vietnam vet just home from the war who's become a hippie.
So he suffered brain damage.
Yes. I thought he was having a fit. I ran off into my car, and before taking off, I read the labels on the VH boxes. What?
No, I'm just, not before he took off, I'm just picturing him, driving. Oh, what did these say? Just I don't know how I crashed into that light pole.
Candle Cove, the complete series, and the other was just blank, which I assumed was Cowboys and Indians. Excited but a little anxious, I drove home. So speaking of people at their job having a fit, except it's the opposite, I got sworn at by another customer today.
Yes, he said that.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did mention it. I'll tell you later. Okay. When I arrived at my house, I ran to get my old VHS player and plugged it in. Okay, acknowledging that they're old doesn't mean that justifies it. Who honestly has VHSs anymore? Who's kept them?
I have one.
Well, Raptor, that is because you're a geek. I inserted Cowboys and Indians at first to see if it would work, and to my utter amazement, it did. I turned off the lights for effect and pressed play. What for effect? What is giving you I guess Candle Cove, I guess. For effect, it's what gave you any indication that this would be creepy? The quality sucked, but what else could you expect from 1965? It began with a puppet cowboy riding in an old-fashioned carriage down a city road, and then transitioned into the aforementioned town named Westville. What do you mean aforementioned? It wasn't. It showed different shots of the characters, some of which I had heard of, like Shaman Shane, the Indian
He'll
leader.
say what he's gonna say.
And to my surprise, Rootin' Tootin' Randy was even in it. Okay.
Why would they pick out he wouldn't be in it?
Chad, you and I are having a fan art off. We're each gonna draw Shaman Shane. We're gonna draw Shane Day as a puppet in Native American garb.
Maybe.
The first episode was...
Wait, I had to ask though, wasn't the whole thing about Candle Cove that it didn't actually exist, that it was just like a hallucination among certain children?
I'll be honest, and I know as popular as it is, I never bothered reading Candle Cove.
Yeah, because they did like a few episodes about it on Channel Zero, and they revealed that that was the big reveal about Candle Cove. But then in the show, 10 minutes into the first episode, yeah, the kids were just sitting there watching static. It's like you just, that was the whole thing. But my point is,
a creepypasta riding on the coattails of another popular creepypasta completely missed the point? Gasp!
Yeah, that's why they couldn't find any evidence of it. Yeah, so how are there VHSs of Candle Cove?
They're just static.
Hello,
first
Superstar 64.
The first episode was entitled Riding Cowboy, and
Oh,
welcome to camp
I had a
as the
Nexu like that one.
Chad, sometimes you share more than we really need to know about you. This is one of those times. And welcome to camp, as the episodes contain 2 segments around 10 minutes each, the first to explain the story of the Cowboys and the second to explain the Indians. I noticed that the Cowboys seemed a bit racist toward the Indians. Oh, much shock. And often uttered racial slurs. Again, much shock. Like, have you seen Peter Pan? That was only a decade before this was supposed to be.
Squaw, get on firewood.
I was beginning to think that this was going to end up being worse than Candle Cove. Again, which was just static.
Yeah.
Episode 2 was known as Western Shootout and Tribal Feast. Western Shootout involved a rivalry between 2 cowboys, Willie the Kid and Randy. After much arguing throughout the episode, they decide to end it in a shootout, which leaves Willie fatally wounded. The episode ends with a shot of Willie's dead body being kicked by Randy. Again, I would like to point out these are puppets. So, yeah, we're just going to imagine Randy as a ripoff of Woody the Cowboy. This was the what?
I'm okay with that.
Because I think it's funny. This was the most disturbing because the blood coming out of the puppet was pretty realistic from what I could tell. Of course.
Oh, was it perhaps in a hyper way?
You know, considering that it was in 1965, it probably wasn't that hard to do, considering that it was probably in black and white, number 1. Number 2, that, what's his name? Alfred Hitchcock would have gotten the same effect in Psycho by using chocolate syrup.
Yeah.
There are many ways you can create fake blood in fucking black and white. The second part had no audio, but I could infer it was about a celebration to the death of Willie the Kid. There was dancing and eating and a side plot involving a cowboy sympathizer leaving the party, but being brought back by his girlfriend of sorts or something dumb like that.
A cowboy sympathizer? What are you on about?
I'm so confused. The show is actually quite boring, and so is the story, but things picked up in episode 13.
You watched 11 more episodes!
Man, this is getting pretty boring, but I'm just gonna watch and see if it gets better by episode 13.
Cowboy simp. Thank you, Chammy.
Your turn, Raptor.
Okay. It was one big segment called Famine Shane Bites the Dust.
God, I am fighting off the urge to play Queen right now.
This episode was by far the creepiest. The Cowboys made a plan to assassinate Shaman Shane and execute it.
Yeah, Raptor, I know you're doing it for comedic effect, but please stop saying shaman.
Raptor, I swear I want to punch you every time you say it.
Oh, the Cowboys made a plan to assassinate Shaman Shane.
Thank you.
I half expected you to say shaman, just to mess with me.
No, because then he knows I would. As if I'm not petty enough to drive to Connecticut to beat the shit out of him.
And execute at nightfall. Randy walks into the camp. Most Indians are asleep in their teepees. Randy is wearing his signature Oz shirt and safari hat.
What do you mean safari hat? What?
What was the shirt established?
I don't know if you know what a cowboy looks like, author. But
he approaches Shaman Shane, who is still awake.
What the hell are you doing here? I will kill you, you son of a B asterisk 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 asterisk.
Says Shane. The audio cuts out for the rest of the scene. However, it was fairly obvious that Randy shot Shaman Shane straight in the chest.
How was it? Okay.
Then it cut to static, and I looked down at my VCR player.
Your VCR player? You mean your VCR?
I noticed the tape was
You
flying.
managed to. Sorry, Raptor. How do you manage to sound like a boomer for outdated technology?
Right.
Like, that is a talent. You would have to be fucking ancient for that.
I noticed the tape was flying from the machine. I turned on the lights and went over to fix it, but the tape was mainly ruined. Some footage stayed alive. I sadly decided to pop in Candle Cove and watch the whole thing until an unexpected episode appeared. It was called Cowboys, Indians, and Pirates, a crossover episode.
Oh my god, it literally says that in the next sentence.
Oh my god. It was a crossover to end both series at once. I thought the final episode of Candle Cove was the screaming one.
Okay, but you don't have to say both series at once. That's... Oh my god. That's implied by crossover.
Okay, anyway, and it had pretty disturbing content within them. It involved the laughingstock coming across a river, which leads them to the Indian camp. The pirates take a liking to them and decides to help them defeat the cowboys. While on the other side, the skin taker stumbles across Westville and begins to run around drinking beer, shooting stuff, and even wishes to collect some Indian scalps, so he leads the cowboys into battle. It results in the death of Randy after being speared through the head, and Janice begins crying. Oh my god, is this gonna be the screaming episode?
Probably.
Oh my god, this better not be the
No, I don't know what Candle. I don't know. I've never even watched, listened, or read anything having to do with Candle Cove.
Jammy! Who knew the skin taker liked Indian food? God damn it, Jammy!
I want to be mad, but I can't.
Mike says, I'm glad you
Because
have...
that was actually pretty clever.
Mike says, I'm glad you have a shining thumbnail up because I'm about to go freeze myself to death in the snow now.
Causing both sides to finally stop the battle, and it ends with the skin taker leaving the camp. So it takes a quiet child to stop presumably years of racism, distrust, hatred. Is that how it works? Alright. Anyway, they become better friends. It ended with the Indian from episode 2 proposing to his girlfriend, but with a ring from Randy's hand, with the finger still attached, blood seeping out of it.
Again, these are supposed to be puppets.
In a children's show from 1940s or the 1970s, I believe.
I was shocked that this was a kids' show. I grabbed both sets and drove back to the shop. But I was shocked to find the store to be burned down.
Sure, why not?
I sadly drove back with both VHS tapes and checked the computer. I googled Vinny's VHS, and there was a news report about the store. The headline read, Vinny's VHS goes up in flames. But that wasn't the worst part. I looked down at the date, and it was 1965. Fuck off. I passed it off as a creepy, coincidental misprint, but immediately threw that theory out the window when I read the byline. Employee Shane bites the dust. What? I did not say that. I threw my hands over my head. I was shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked. How could this have been when I had just been there? I wanted to know who wrote this. Chills went down my spine. Hold on a sec.
Number 15.
No.
I regret nothing. What you looking up there?
I just want to see. Yeah, VHS tapes, they weren't used until 1976.
You mean there's a logical fallacy
Yes.
in a creepypasta?
Who knows? Maybe it was late. Oh wait, latest was 1978.
Oh my god, here we go. I totally lost it. I grabbed the tape and rushed to the nearby woods to bury the damned tape. I bet you're wondering what was so disturbing that I went through such extreme measures to bury it. Not really.
Yeah, I don't really care.
This has to be a troll. The person who wrote this article for the Westville Advance was none other than Randy Savage.
Excuse
As
me?
in the Macho Man?
Oh yeah! The next day, I googled Vinny's VHS one last time to see if there were any updates, but there were none. I found a lot of information about wrestling and Slim Jims, though. However, I did find a website that had a list of employees. The one known as Shane was not the man at the store. That was Vinny Vincent.
I was right. He was Vinny. Haha.
I found his email and decided to ask him if, for some reason, we could meet sometime. To my amazement, he actually agreed to meet me at his house, with the address written at the bottom. Obviously, I can't share this without his consent. On Friday, I stopped by to almost interview him in a way. The following was our exchange. Hello, Mr. Vincent.
Please call my Vinny, man. Now, what did you come here for?
To discuss the tragedy that struck your business last week.
Yeah, man, that. What do you need to know?
Well, first, I would like to discuss your time on the show. What was it like? What was it
No.
like to be?
No, please, no, man.
He began sobbing loudly. Vinny, calm down. It's all right. Your time is done from that show.
They cut me. Okay. I'm sure you're wondering what happened to my leg. You want to know how I got these scars?
I am my scars.
I was a child actor.
Wait.
What?
The fucking next line. Well, the rest of your line.
They needed blood for Willie the Kid.
No,
from
Willie the Kid.
Oh yeah, they needed blood from Willie the Kid, so that sick man use mine.
Why?
You know, they weren't doing terribly grammatic-wise until, like, probably, yeah, starting around the previous paragraph.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck?
He began wailing with his head in his hands, taking a shot of his Jack Daniels that I forgot to mention until now. Okay. We can just talk about the story then.
Why would that be any better to talk about?
His fist crashed down onto the coffee table. Vinny, can you just tell me how it happened?
It was me, man. I burnt down the store, I forged the article, and now I have one last job.
Jesus. Vinny, what are you doing? He pulled a knife out of his pocket. What the hell? I
You want
ran
me to
for the
take the last
door,
one? Okay.
just barely escaping with my life. I saw from the inside Vinny throwing a rope over the Raptors.
Oh, that's
Uh,
tasteful.
that's the last time I ever wanted anything to do with that kids show. I don't care what people say about Candle Cove. Even Candle Cove wasn't as sick as what I had witnessed. To
Yeah,
this,
because again, Candle Cove was just static.
yeah, to this day, if anyone even mentions the word cowboy, I have a fit. So did you freak out just from typing that?
Woody's Roundup. Guy can't watch Toy Story ever again.
he just hopes that Buzz will start beating the shit out of Woody. One day, a year or so after the horrific experience, I was watching the news at about 3:16 in the morning. Oh, fuck off. When I heard shovels out back. This man's probably afraid of Tim Allen. I ran behind my house and the tapes were gone. Deep inside, I knew who did it. The last thing I remember was faint Western music playing in the background.
Woody's Roundup. Come on, it's time to play. I regret nothing.
And Duke Nukem Forever, the only comment says, God damn it, Candle Cove stories need their own category.
I never knew this was such a big problem on the site. Like
I
so
mean,
many people
that's
involved.
not a compliment, so base?
There's a snake in my boot. Oh God, why? Well, that was idiotic.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. So, my turn to hit a random story. So, site navigation, a random story. Oh, God damn it. So, this is one of the Lost THX trail. Okay. No, we're not reading that. That's just a big wall of text. I'm not subjecting you to that. Not to mention the... Okay, here we go. I will share the link. Link is in the chat.
I haven't seen him.
Shut up. Shut your whore mouth.
If I had a whore mouth, I would kill it.
Did you get it?
The Lost Fleischer Superman cartoon. Oh God.
Seems promising enough. There's no comments. And now remember, we're hitting random. So if this is tasteless, I cannot take any responsibility for it.
It's all Kenzie's fault.
We're all going into this one blind. Are you starting?
Right. Oh, yeah. No, wait, I'm sorry. I can't feel the story. It's not in Braille. I'm blind.
Shut up.
Have you ever heard of the Fleischer Superman cartoons? I mean, yeah. They were a series of animations about the now iconic superhero Superman. With 17 episodes produced over the course of 1940 to 1943, the episodes produced from 40 to 42 were done by Fleischer Studios, and the last few episodes up until 1943 were produced by Famous Studios.
Getting some history homework here. Jesus Christ.
For those not in the know, oh, go fuck yourself, don't talk like that. These Superman cartoons were often regarded as the pinnacle of Western animation. They certainly have high quality, and they are quite memorable despite there only being 17 shorts produced. Okay, that is true. They were very good. Well, supposedly, there is a lost episode. You can't try and make this not seem like a trite cliche by putting lost in quotation marks.
Yep. And also, not that to say that the Fleischer Superman show is technically obscure if you're a superhero fan and you're really interested in like even the most retro kind of media for superheroes, you would know it, but like picking something really, really old also doesn't negate the fact that it's such a cliche.
Yeah. And also, just because I saw a friend's picture earlier, I just, I immediately read, well, supposedly. Did they go to the store today? Supposedly.
Legibly.
DC Comics and Paramount Pictures vehemently deny the existence of any such episode. I know, because they told me to never contact them again after I just spammed them with emails and phone calls. Going by the accounts of those few people who claim to have seen this lost short, it's understandable why DC and Paramount wouldn't want this cartoon to be associated with them. Oh, God. Mike says, God, I hope this is one of the episodes where Superman punches the Japanese.
Oh my god. Why do you guys say the things you do?
Superman kills people in this pasta. Well, big whoop. If anything, something from the 40s is way less likely to have surviving lost media with how film degrades and all. Yeah. From what little information exists, the cartoon was apparently commissioned in 1947 by the U.S. War Department soon after the Cold War began. They reassembled all the staff from the famous studios who worked on the Superman shorts and told them they wanted a propaganda piece.
From famous studios, so I guess that was actually the name of it.
Yeah. And, okay, so if they got the team from famous studios, why is this the Lost Fleischer Superman cartoon?
The short doesn't seem to have been completed and was never shown to an audience, yet somehow it found its way online because contrivance. Those who claim to have watched this short say they found it on a torrent site. The site varies for each person, with all the other episodes bundled on it. The other 17 episodes are normal, utterly unaltered from the originals. Yet when they speak of the lost short, they are overcome with a sense of nausea and dread. We are just... we should make a bingo sheet for a lost episode of lost episode cliches, and then we can turn it into a game.
That would be
Who's
interesting.
Who's in? We'll send it into Bean Media or like just some text channel on Beanhaven, and everyone can play along.
Superman fighting Robo Stalin sounds awesome, not gonna lie.
I mean, yes. But I doubt that's what happens here.
What happened to the robot, comrade? It broke down? No. It is Stalin.
Go fuck yourself.
Superman versus Communist Bizarro? Bizarro say claim means of production.
Everyone needs to stop. The episode begins much in the same way as the other cartoons did, with the opening credits and the same heroic music as there are in all of the intros. That's redundant. Were you whistling?
Yes.
It cut out and it sounded like a fire alarm beep. like when it's out of battery. So it just sounded like two really high pitched beeps.
It's getting warm in here.
That's just me, sorry. A section in the opening where the narrator describes the destruction of Krypton and Superman's origin seems to be unchanged, though some viewers claim that the narrator sounds more aggressive this time. Okay, we need to find the... I really want to find the intro for that now, because I just imagine it's probably like really jaunty and like saturated because it's the 40s and it's probably really unoffensive. So, just imagining that. Well, also because it's Superman, the Boy Scout of DC. So imagine that, but just a really aggressive narrator.
Chad is his own fire alarm. Yeah, like if there's ever a fire at night, I just wake up to the sound of my own whistling, imitating the fire alarm.
We don't know why it happens. Doctors can't explain it. It's a really niche superpower. He tried contacting the X-Men, but they were like, we don't really have a use for you. The episode opens in the Daily Planet office with Lois Lane and Clark Kent having a conversation. All seem to agree that the color palette of the episode seems to be dull compared to the older shorts. But some say that this is simply due to the age of the recording, while others say the dull colors are due to budget issues. Was it in color?
No, most of them were in black and white.
Well, we have
Fire.
another logical fallacy.
Fire alarm companies hate him. Click here to find out why.
Clark is standing beside Lois's desk while Lois herself is looking over the newest issue of the Daily Planet. Clark asks,
Hard to believe that it's been 2 years since the end of World War II, eh, Lois?
people agree that it seems... Okay, you need to just stop with the people agree. This does not make it sound more credible.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go full Jerry Seinfeld here. Who are these people?
People agree that it seems to be the same actor from the old shorts, Bud Collyer.
Yeah.
Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
You got it.
But yay. But like the narrator from before, he sounds aggressive and a little afraid when he reads the lines. Okay, Chad.
Seems the world is safe for now with the Axis dealt with.
Raptor, Mike, over your nose. Please. I wouldn't be so sure about that, Kent. I don't know why she's vaguely English. Lois replied. Oh, wait, no. Did I do... Was that 4? Yeah, that was 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'll
3.
just read... You read 4. That's why I read 4. Sorry.
It should have been 3. I'm awful.
So... I wouldn't be so sure about that, Kent.
Lois replied. Fiona Alexander, the voice actress of Lois, is known to sound rather shaky and nervous when she reads her lines.
Alright, fine. Let's
Channel
do the...
Michael J. Fox here.
We'll do, like, 1950s soap opera voice. Have a look at the story I got done on the front page.
The camera moves around to show the headline story.
There's no camera, it's a cartoon.
They all do that. Just, it's not even worth it at this point.
Red Menace working on nuclear weapons. What a scoop.
It seems the commies are conspiring against America.
It was that moment that the animation shifted. The animation looked as if the black and white storyboard had been simply pasted onto the tape with choppy stop-motion quality, lasting for the next 25 to 27 minutes or so.
Seconds.
The audio for this storyboard was
Distorted.
The audio for the storyboard segment as incredibly fuzzy and distorted. As incredibly fuzzy as
You idiot.
And the people who have watched this lost episode give various accounts of what Lois and Clark are saying. But most people agree that Lois says,
Superman should put a stop to those dirty commies.
What's even more bizarre about this sudden odd shift is that people claim Clark is staring directly at the viewer during this part of the short.
That's hilarious. Oh, that is so funny. Sounds so funny. She's just talking about communism and fucking Clark Kent.
Yeah, Lois, I don't fucking care. You never shut up.
Oh, that is so funny.
Others claim that he has no eyes at all during this segment.
That's even funnier. Like, this isn't some scary lost media. This is just some poor animation from the 40s that wasn't finished.
Superstar 64 says, did the commies kill Jimmy Olsen? Where is the horror? I love this episode, right? This is awesome.
Some say that the storyboards are such a poor quality that it's impossible to tell if where Clark is even looking.
Yeah, because it's storyboards. Those are meant to be in the placeholder for the actual animation. That's not uncommon. That's what's known as an animatic. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right on the right syllable, but you get what I mean.
Those who have watched...
Oh, sorry.
Do you have one more?
Hang on.
No.
Nah.
Right.
Wait.
Those who have watched it.
Watched... Huh?
He does have one more, but if we want to get back to the 3 per...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Those who have watched this episode say that the episode fades to static at the end of the bizarre storyboard segment, and when the cartoon returns to normal, it shows Superman talking with President Truman. Despite the normally fantastic nature of the Fleischer Superman shorts, this one segment is known to be oddly somber in tone. Low, tense piano music is playing throughout the conversation, but it's so soft that at times people forget it's even playing. The Oval Office is filled with a thick darkness, as if the conversation is taking place at either dusk or early dawn, with very little light present to illuminate the characters.
Wasn't Fleischer the same studio that did Betty Boop?
Maybe?
If that is the case, then honestly, weird, dark tone for their cartoons. I mean, I unfortunately haven't seen the Superman cartoon done by them, but if this is Fleischer, the same that did Betty Boop, it doesn't seem all out of character for them.
Yeah.
Can I be the president?
Yeah, I was gonna say you want to be Truman.
Yeah, I'll be Truman.
Oh my god.
You understand what has to be done, Superman?
President Truman asked. What's odd is, to this day, nobody has been able to identify the voice actor of this character. That's not odd at all. Not for a cartoon from back then. A lot of people just had one-time roles and wouldn't be credited for them. Some claim that it's the real Harry Truman.
Oh my god.
But that's impossible, isn't it? Of course, Mr. President, Superman replied. I understand the threats the Soviets pose. I'll do the patriotic duty of any American and do what I can to stop them. I mean, is this supposed to sound dark or threatening somehow?
I don't know. It kind of just sounds more like... It just sounds like any typical propaganda piece from the time period.
I mean, it's not even nasty propaganda either. It's Superman's gonna stand with his country. Hooray. Okay.
Yeah, we've definitely seen weirder. Need anyone be reminded of Nazi Donald Duck?
Nazi Titanic?
What?
Oh yeah.
What?
Okay, we're gonna have to watch that one again sometime.
Okay.
And now I'm just thinking of Soviet Lord of the Rings.
Oh my god. The camera focuses in on Truman, and many people note that his face is far more detailed here than it was earlier. And if I hear many people note one more time, I swear to God, I'm leaving. More detailed than any character in the entire short.
Good to know, Superman. America won't stand idly by and let another threat rise up against us. I want you to strike those dirty commies down like the hammer of God, and to show them what they're up against.
Again, nothing really out of the sort.
The hammer of God? I've never heard that term before.
Well, he's not saying what god, so clearly he's referencing Thor.
Yeah, God's not capitalized, so. Yeah, Harry Truman, noted pagan.
Noted Viking. And Norse mythology worshiper.
Raptor,
The people who...
for sometime
Yeah.
this week, can you Photoshop a picture of Harry Truman wearing a Viking helmet, please?
It shall be done.
Thank you.
I didn't think you'd be so tickled by Viking Harry Truman.
I mean,
The people who have given accounts on this last episode, that counts. I'm going by.
hey, Kenzie, do you know what Truman looked like?
Not. Forgive me for not immediately remembering what the man looks like.
No, look him up. During his presidency.
That is the least Viking man I've ever there ever has been one.
Exactly, that's why I find it so amusing. Alright, so...
The people who have given accounts on this last episode, while they all have differing views and opinions on Superman, all find this behavior to be wildly out of character from him. You mean Superman taking orders for the greater good of America?
Yeah.
I mean, again, I don't really know what 1940s... I don't know too much about 1940s Superman, but... it was a little bit... They had a little bit more difference than the stuff we see now. Like, bright colors Batman is why would be wildly out of character today. Things change over time.
Yeah.
They don't seem able to believe, that sounds clunky, Superman acting as some sort of government agent, nor can they believe Superman using his powers to attack a nation of people. Okay, the latter is weird, but...
I'm just picturing, DCAU with the Justice Lords. Are you okay? I feel great. After just burning Luthor's head off.
As the conversation between Truman and Superman ends, the screen cuts to static again, before fading back in and showing Superman flying through the air. This segment is utterly devoid of sound, save for small crackles that are just barely noticeable. Then you didn't have to mention it.
This is a prequel to The Dark Knight. Bright Colors Batman was my favorite Batman. Oh, that's cool, DC. Frank Miller would disagree with those people. Yeah.
I'm not saying like early Batman was like bad or anything, but like with the bright colors.
Oh yeah.
And stuff, like it's just out of character now. Do you want me to read another one?
It would be Raptor's turn.
Yeah, it would be.
Oh yeah.
But he's not speaking.
I'm getting there. Don't worry. He flies directly over one landmass with Russia written over it, almost as if the image was taken from an atlas. Oh, so scary. Suddenly, Superman dive bombs straight down with an almost deafening sonic boom, breaking the silence from earlier. Just as Superman impacts the cartoon representation of Moscow, the art style shifts again. This time it appears to be stock black and white footage of the Hiroshima bomb explode.
What? Excuse me?
I think it went there. Showing the mushroom cloud ballooning up into the air, while a distorted version of the Soviet Union's national anthem plays in the background. It's from this point on that the people who saw this lost episode began to recall the nausea they felt, while most people mentioned that watching the destruction of Russian landmarks at Superman's hands. Some who had watched this segment in slow motion had found subliminal imagery implanted into the footage.
Like,
I bet.
the imagery is graphic to say the least, and doesn't
I'm
appear
sure.
for more than a frame or two. Those who have seen the subliminal messages describe it as being grainy black and white footage likely taken during World War II. Should I read this? It seems kind of fucked.
No. Yeah, let's not read this.
Go shit.
So yeah, this is just tasteless war images that you would expect from World War II. Moving on.
The last scene of the episode is described as being equally traumatic.
This sentence is fine. I don't know about the one following it, but
Yeah, okay, so Superman kills Stalin.
Superman makes Stalin his bitch.
Well, nobody can feel any sympathy for Stalin for what happens next, for the simple fact that it's Stalin. People too agree that his fate is overly graphic and gruesome.
To agree.
Yeah.
Who?
I'm pretty sure they meant a tend to be in there.
Yeah. Okay, so blah blah blah. The camera zooms into a close-up of Superman's smiling face, the fires of the ruined city flickering behind him. He looks directly at the viewer and winks. It's at this moment that the image of Superman winking freezes up and the warped music lingers on one drawn-out note. This lasts for little over 7 seconds, and then the episode ends. People are conflicted about why the episode exists in a state like this. The most common belief is that famous studios protested that what the War Department wanted to turn Superman into and made the short overly graphic so that it would never see the light of day. Others think that while the audio clips in the episode are real, the animation is simply an elaborate hoax. Okay, so guys, do you think the story is real, or...
Surprisingly...
is it just an elaborate hoax?
Surprisingly...
Why are you asking me that?
I don't feel inclined to believe that this story is real.
You've never watched Nuke's Top 5?
No.
He does, like, paranormal videos and always ends it with, so, do you think it's real? Or just an elaborate hoax?
Oh, yeah, you've referenced that before, but...
Yeah, like the story where Cobb was at work and he went to get coffee for everyone before he leaves. So, is it real? Comes back like 20 minutes later, or just an elaborate hoax? With the correct resources, anything can be done, right? Oh my god. The last mystery about this episode is that as soon as a person finishes watching it, the file completely deletes itself from the viewer's computer. Go fuck yourself. And leaves no trace of its existence. If said viewer attempts to find the same torrent again, they simply can't no matter what site they check. Any attempts to find the uploader of the torrent, assuming it is being done by just one person, have ended in failure. Just like your entire life, author.
Burn.
Well, that was shit.
Watchers say Superman was a little harsh.
A little bit.
The Squidward suicide method of protest. Alright, Raptor, you want to click random for us?
Alright, let's see what we... Oh no. Oh no.
What is it?
Yeah, just don't tell. It's just posted in the chat.
Oh god.
Oh god.
I apologize in advance for this one.
Alright, click another one.
Oh, wait. Oh, there's so much. Oh my fucking god. They didn't even finish this one and they still posted it on the site anyway. What the? Oh, THX one.
Oh wait, this doesn't even seem finished.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fuck that.
Okay, back at the Barnyard season 3 episode 1.
What?
What?
I remember that show. Barely.
I actually really like that show, to be honest.
It was annoying.
Well, in my defense,
You're annoying. I'm kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Is it finished? Does it at least look finished?
Yeah.
Oh, why is it so long?
That's what she said.
Shut up. All right, Chad, are you gonna...
Yeah, let's read this one just because there are people praising it, so I want to tell them how wrong they are.
Oh, no.
Back at the Barnyard, Season 3, Episode 1. Just with how this starts, I need to use the voice again. I doubt any of you out there have ever really heard about the show Back at the Barnyard. If you
2
have,
out of 3 of us literally just confirmed we do.
if you have, then you're one of the lucky ones, as this show had a rather unmentioned showing during its lineup.
Literally, the only reason Chad doesn't is because he's an actual boomer.
Oh, I knew about this show.
Okay, then never mind.
Now, to give a brief explanation of the show, for those of you who don't know about it. Does anyone know the TV show Back at the Barnyard? You just started with this.
Raptor, Mike, over nose.
It's a show created in 2007 by reader Steve Odekirk, the same man who worked on...
you said reader, not writer.
Oh, well. Who worked on Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. The series itself is a spin-off of the original movie Barnyard that was made to detail the day-to-day life of animals that lived on the barnyard. I never would have guessed. The show stars 7 main characters: Otis the bull, Abby the cow, Pig Pig, don't do that, Freddy the ferret, Peck the rooster, Bessie the cow, Duke the dog, and Pip the mouse.
Yeah, there's no way you're going to be able to list all those characters and then try to make the following story frightening.
Yeah.
I mean, the human characters were enough to give you nightmares, but you can attribute that to just crappy design and not anything intentional.
Did it also have Chickadee the chickadee?
Haha.
The characters would pretty much go around on random, silly adventures, often annoying their next-door neighbor, Mrs. Beatty, with getting tormented by a child by the name of Eugene, aka Snotty Boy. To further explain each character, as well as help you get a better understanding of what I saw, I'll give a small summary of them.
The opening paragraph really took the wind out of your sails, with that gatekeeping bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I could just hear the life drained from your voice.
Mike, funny you should say that. Otis, a male black and white bull with 2 udders, who enjoys having parties and generally...
Why did you say he does not have 2 udders? It just says udders.
No, it doesn't. Being the downfall of most of the characters on the show, Otis is quite literally a carefree bull? What?
I don't know.
Okay, there's no point in fucking reading these. Let's just get back to the story.
I mean, we might as well, because this takes up a good chunk of the story.
Now that you've gotten the gist of the show,
Okay, or not.
as well as the
Wait.
characters.
Hang on. I noticed something that caught my attention.
Oh god.
Okay. Can I just read the couple first sentences of the description of Freddy?
Sure.
Freddy, a large rounded orange ferret that also lives on the barnyard with the other animals. He is a ferret that seems to suffer from many different psychological problems. Bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and multiple personality disorder, to name a few. No, he fucking doesn't.
Is Freddy a Twitter user?
Also, he is an open vegetarian and possibly bisexual
No,
ferret
fuck off.
who is lovely
Fuck
little
off.
When?
Also, Raptor, if they're talking about multiple personalities, then it's TikTok.
Also, like, I mean, I'm sure there was probably jokes that hint at stuff like that, but again, those are probably just that, jokes, and you're definitely reading too much into that.
Yeah. Mike, you'll be fine. God, just... Thanks, Kenzie. I don't want to read any of this now.
Okay, then I'll take it from here. In 2011, Steve Odekirk, was that how it's pronounced?
I guess.
Had plans to make a 2-hour-long season finale of the show back at the barnyard. The episode would be the first episode of season 3, right after the season 2 episode Aliens, which would also be the startup for the season 3 plot. Unfortunately, Nickelodeon canceled the show before the episode itself could even be animated or cast for that manner.
Sauce?
This, of course, was a huge disappointment for Mr. Odekirk, as he had a relatively new concept for the show, and that episode was going to show it. Steve Odekirk had an idea to try and make the show more like the movie. Darker themes, an actual plot, controversial topics, and more character development in the show. Okay, yeah. Yes, the movie that the show was based on was a little dark in that the main character's dad dies. It deals with like a visibly pregnant cow and how her husband died and blah stuff like that. But controversial topics? No.
Yeah.
No, it did not. It did not have that.
Also, Aliens just reminds me that we came up with a pretty interesting movie idea to pitch to Disney. We came up with a pretty interesting movie idea for Disney.
What's that?
WALL-E, specifically the spaceship where with all like the morbidly obese humans, it gets taken over by xenomorphs.
I'd watch it. Anyway.
It's like they just see all the people like, whoa, look at the size of them. They could each keep like 3 or 4 in there. So yeah, the lights just turn out, then they come back on dim. All the xenomorphs are wearing like these silk robes, smoking pipes, and there's Barry White playing over the PA system.
Odekirk himself was originally going to bring back a few of the characters from the original movie into the series to act as either side or main characters. He also spent much time in... Oh, are they going to bring back the pregnant cow who literally they just nuked from the show? He also spent much time and energy with the writers to get the show the way he wanted it to be made for the season 3 premiere. This episode he worked on was called Operation Barnyard. Sadly, it only got as far to the script before the show was eventually canceled. Years passed, and the script for the show was ultimately forgotten by Mr. Odekirk after the production of Planet Sheen. Oh god, that show was ass. And given to a few interns to properly dispose of. This is how I managed to come across this script. I dumpster dive, you see. I am homeless.
I'm at an internet cafe right now typing this. They're telling me to buy something or get out.
Apparently my odor is bothering the customers. Oh, here.
That's how I came up with my username, Steve Odekirk.
No, I wasn't an intern at Nickelodeon, nor did I, or I did I have any connect. It should have been, nor did I, or did I have any connections to Nickelodeon in general. I'm a 21-year-old man who currently lives in a nice, spacious 2-bedroom apartment in downtown Los Angeles. No, you
you
fucking do not.
No.
I call that is even less credible than if you had been an intern at Nickelodeon Studios.
Yeah. Oh wait, it gets less believable.
I work in construction 48 hours a week, and I often have to pass by the main studio to get to my job at the paper mill. With that being said, I had always.
Construction or paper mill? What are you talking about?
I don't fucking know.
Also, the author of this story has never done a moment of physical activity in his life.
Anthony. No, you don't, you fucking liar. Anthony, you can't spell liar, is what I'm trying to get at here. With that being said, I always wanted to snoop around a studio like that. 911, yes, hello. However, I knew that doing something like that would not only put my job in jeopardy, but it would also cost me my clean police record. Yeah. Now, as I was driving home from work, I was stopped by a large garbage truck making its way out of the parking lot of Nickelodeon Studios. Oh god, guys, I smell one hell of a contrived coincidence.
Stinky.
Not only was it doing that, but it was also carrying a large 2-ton dumpster in its quote-unquote claws. Pretty sure it has an actual name that you could look up, but fuck it. Now, I had been a bit too close to the truck, but what happened next really pissed me off. As the garbage truck was lifting the dumpster into the air to dump its contents into the back of the vehicle, one of the claws slipped and the dumpster tipped slightly, covering my car with garbage.
Haha.
Chad, would you like to voice?
You gotta be kidding me!
Were the words I yelled out as boxes, papers, and small wrapped trash cans poured onto my car like ice cream in a fat kid's mouth. Again, you
What?
tried. There's no point. Again, I usually couldn't respect the hustle, but no, there's no point. Don't even bother. I wasn't really having a great day, and this garbage certainly didn't help things. After half the contents buried my car in a sea of discarded office supplies, the garbage truck man filled his truck, placed the dumpster down, and drove off. I honestly was livid after that. They would not just leave it like that, because
They would.
Wouldn't they at least have to check the quote-unquote claw?
They wouldn't do it in public.
Not only did this asshole dump 50 pounds of crap on my car, but he also had the audacity to just drive off like nothing had ever happened. I made a mental note to kick this guy's ass when I got the chance and opened my front door. As I expected, there was trash all over the place. However, a few good things that didn't happen that day was that everything was either papers, boxes, or bagged up trash. So at least I didn't have to wash my car. God, this is just riveting, isn't it? Also, at least the dumpster didn't tip all the way over and smash my car. After calming down a bit, I grabbed some of the trash that had been left behind and started tossing it into the open dumpster about 10 feet away. Once I had gotten most of the trash out of the way, I made my way back to my car and drove home. You okay there?
No, because this is too damn long.
Let's read it quickly. It's not that bad. Do you want me to take this one too?
All I'm gonna say is if we're gonna continue this, I'm doing the voice of Otis.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I don't care if it's accurate or not.
No. Well, can you do a Kevin James impression? Because that wasn't, that almost definitely wasn't his voice on the show, but it was in the movie. That much I remember.
No, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
Okay, but seriously, he found the box on his windshield wiper, went upstairs and took out a thick script.
Thick. So we're just gonna skip this paragraph.
Yeah. So season 3, episode 1, Operation Barnyard. This was certainly an interesting piece. I myself used to watch this show a lot as a kid, so finding this was honestly a blessing to me. A blessing!
No one liked that show that much. Like, Raptor, I know you said you thought it was fun, but like,
Yeah, would you
Would
call
let's say
this
that
a
you-
blessing?
yeah, would you call an old script for the show a blessing? No, the answer is no,
no.
you wouldn't.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
See, now I'm just picturing like you finding the script, going into your room, like coming back out, like wearing a white robe with a light above your head, like church music playing. You just like hold it up to the sky.
I have seen the light.
I was a bit curious to know how, or why for that matter, some people would take the time to throw away a perfectly good script. Because it sucked? I decided to take some time, 2 weeks to be more specific, to actually read and memorize this piece word for word, you loser. However, due to some time constraints and to keep the story short, new sentence, I'll describe it as if I was actually describing the episode itself on TV. The episode began with the usual intro and theme music, but the animals all locking themselves in their barn with random pieces of wood that display the names of the writers, animators, and the creator himself. After about 2 seconds, the title card then showed up. The background of the title card was a darkened laboratory interior with Mrs. Beatty in all black gear, with a cord holding her up, and a few weapons on a black belt. A baseball bat, smoke bombs, and an earwax gun with bolt tubes lodged into Mrs. Beatty's ears, to be specific. Excuse me?
Hey, I don't know.
She also donned a very expensive-looking pair of night vision goggles. Wasn't this show like CGI?
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, those night vision goggles sure look expensive. The right side of the car had all the animals huddled together in fear. After a few seconds of the title card, the episode then began. Act 1 begin with Otis and the rest of the gang all gathered around the backyard of Mrs. Beatty's home. Otis was sitting on top of the farmer's tractor, ready to crank it up. Supposedly, they were going to prank Mrs. Beatty by waking her from her mid-afternoon nap. Not a really creative prank, but I guess it was okay. Otis started a countdown from 5, with the others joining in after 5. After the countdown, Otis then cranked up the tractor and hit the horn button. You could just say the horn, which it had for some reason. Hard. The sound of a blaring horn.
Never read something like that again.
Then the sound of a blaring horn then had the camera cut to the inside of Mrs. Beatty's room, where she screamed at the sudden loud noise and jumped out of her bed in fright. The camera then cut back to all the animals laughing hysterically at their little joke. Okay, just because you don't think it's a very good joke, it's still a joke. Their laughing was abruptly cut short by Mrs. Beatty literally bursting open the back door with her foot. All the animals then turned their heads to see a rather horrific sight. Mrs. Beatty stepped closer towards the animals. Her body was covered with a large bathrobe. Her face was covered with a green face mask. Her hair was moving in all different directions like Medusa on speed. Okay.
Again, I want to appreciate the hustle, but no, this one's just odd.
And her eyes literally had fire jutting out of them in fury. Hey, Beatty, Oh, why not go make yourself and not look like a scary underwater demon? Otis said in a weirded out voice.
Mrs. Beatty said nothing for about 3 seconds before screaming and lunging herself at the animals in a mixture of rage and insanity.
Guys, get on the tractor now!
Otis said as he and others hopped on the tractor and drove off. This didn't stop Mrs. Beatty, however, as she jumped a long distance from her yard all the way onto the tractor. As she jumped on, Mrs. Beatty started attacking Otis with her bare hands, causing him to not be able to look at the road. All the while, the other animals tried desperately to get the psychotic woman off him. While all this was happening, the scene cut to all of them leaving the barnyard and heading straight into town. While driving past the onlooking pedestrians, whose mouths were agape at what they were seeing, the tractor finally came to a stop after crashing into a random pickle cart, causing everyone on it to fly off the tractor and into the road. Finally, Mrs. Beatty was taken off of Otis by Abby.
Am I okay? Did she eat my ear?
Otis was saying frantically.
What? Did she eat my ear?
I mean, I'll give this kid some credit. It matches the kind of pretty random humor and just weird, nonsensical stuff that the show.
What nonsense is she, Mike Tyson?
Maybe. Abby then checked Otis out and reassured him that he was fine. Otis then gave a sigh of relief before laughing. This was cut short after he saw that everyone was looking at them.
Milk me,
Otis said fearfully. Mrs. Beatty then calmed herself down, only to see everyone staring at them, including the mayor himself. She then smiled widely as the truth had finally come out. "I told you so," she said to everyone before turning to the now terrified animals and whispering the same phrase to them as well. At this time, Otis and the others tried to run away from the crowd of people looking at them, but were then apprehended by animal control, violently shoving all of them to the ground and chaining the group up in different ways. Sounds a bit rude. Before being placed in cages and put into a large vehicle. Once the vehicle had driven off, everyone then started apologizing profusely to Mrs. Beatty for calling her crazy. Act 2 involved Mrs. Beatty being mentioned on the news by Hilly Burfett. Okay. Then a montage of at least 10 different scenes showed in 30-second intervals. One scene of Mrs. Beatty on a talk show, another scene involving the animals being locked in separate experimental quote-unquote cells. Why is it in quotes? Then another with Mrs. Beatty getting the key to the city for some reason. Again, lampshading again, it goes with the show, but you don't need to lampshade it. And another to the animals being given electric shock therapy, and so on and so forth. All right, take it away.
Act 3 started with the transition of a silhouette of Otis dancing across the scene. Yes, we've seen the show. Then it showed Mrs. Beatty sitting on a rocking chair outside her house. She is drinking lemonade and relaxing. She had been animal-free for the past week and a half. She commented on how nice it was, and how nice it was for her to get some time by herself once. This, of course, led the Beatty to her thoughts. At first it was peaceful, but then it started showing small clips of the animals all being tortured in some way. This continued to happen for a portion of the scene, before Beatty finally snaps out of her daydream. After taking a deep breath, she then heard crying in the background. She then went to see who it was, only to discover the farmer sitting on his porch. Mrs. Beatty then asked what was the matter.
No, and then asked, "What the matter?"
Okay, and the farmer went on a huge rant about how she ruined his life, and how she had taken his family away from him. This caused Mrs. Beatty to become guilty at what she had done. Wouldn't the farmer be like technically like a slaver?
Jesus.
What? The fuck did you just ask me?
I mean, I see what you're saying.
I mean, think about it. These animals have
You said
autonomy.
that the number of viewers went from 9 to 7.
Looks like guess some people just can't handle the difficult questions in life. Anyway, this caused Mrs. Beatty to become guilty at what she had done, and then she vowed to save the animals. The screen then transitioned to all the animal silhouettes running across the screen. We know about the show! You don't need to describe every
Raptor,
single
you
little
and I
thing
know
that
about
happened in the show.
There's we have no evidence that anyone else in the chat has ever watched it.
They still don't need to explain like every
Who
single little
cares?
thing that
Keep
happened.
going.
It's just then it shows the animal control laboratory. She was dressed in black while action music played in the background. She then went and quietly freed all the animals from the cages and carefully smuggled them into her car. Not for taking a sticky bomb and blowing the place to Kingdom Come. She then brought all the animals back to the barnyard and apologized heavily for what she did to them. It then concluded with a group hug. The end.
Now, I do
Now-
apologize if this episode seemed dumb. Seemed dumb? You mong. I had to condense the actual episode down a few notches before I could tell you my experience. However, I still have the script. If I have time, I might just share it with the world.
Okay, so stuff like poor writing aside, the biggest glaring issue is that this is in no way, shape, or form scary, and honestly, not even out of character for the show. Like, the whole torturing the animal scene would absolutely have been played for comedy if this was an actual episode. And it has. It's called Slapstick.
And
this show did a lot of that.
And they missed a perfect opportunity to say that while Otis was in the laboratory, he wrote his memoirs, Mein Kampf.
Shut up. I hate you. I hate you. Actually hate you. Like, that is the single biggest reach for a pun I think I've ever heard.
Here's a question I want to know: is Lost Episode just like another term for fan fiction for these guys?
Yes.
That's literally what creepypasta Lost episodes are.
Okay, obviously, but still, but does this often know that a creepypasta has to be creepy, quote unquote?
I mean, there was the Dragon Ball Z dinosaur story.
Like, okay, so one comment mentions like props for not having blood or gore for the sake of shock value. Sounds like it might have been a real script for an unproduced episode. That's kind of the problem, though.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, again, like, okay, I'll give you that. The lack of blood and gore for shock value, I do consider a plus also, just because that would have been just another fucking point for the Lost Episode creepypasta bingo card sheet. But the problem is that this is, what's the point? It's not a creepypasta. This is literally just his pitch to revive Back to the Barnyard.
I'm surprised it didn't end there with like Steve Odekar, please notice me. We can bring back Barnyard. Nickelodeon, please hire me.
Like, again, they the only source of horror really is supposed to come from, it's a more violent than normal. But again, there's plenty of cartoon violence that's played for comedy. Again, slapstick. Watch a Tom and Jerry cartoon once, will you? So, Chad, what'd you think?
That was so stupid.
Indeed.
Actually, I'm gonna say that the same thing I said about the dinosaur story. This was literally just the author's Back to the Barnyard fan fiction, and the only way that he could get any attention for it was to slap Creepypasta, the name, onto it.
And just retool it into a lost episode.
Exactly.
And so instead of, this is my pitch for, this is what I would do for a rewrite of bringing back at the Barnyard, it's, no, this was a real script that never got made.
I guess you could say that he really failed hard.
Hard at the Barnyard.
Dad, we're friends, right?
Yes.
Why do you strive to make me uncomfortable?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just trying to make people laugh. I don't see how that's so hard to
Dad?
understand.
I will leave this call right now and never come back.
I mean, you might do that anyway, for just based on the last story that I found for us to read.
Oh, wait, we're doing one more?
Yeah, this one's really short.
Oh, okay. Great.
Minecraft Anomaly.
I thought you were going to make another Mein Kampf joke and I was ready to hit you.
Minecraft.
Alright, send it.
Minecraft, because Hitler was a huge Minecraft fan. That was his real memoir.
Okay, yeah, it is really short.
I'm writing this here because some strange stuff happened to be in my Minecraft world.
Always a great start.
I hate this person already.
Just such a great start to a horror story.
I'm documenting things that happened in this little story. Little like your brain. So, after creating a brand new world, I did the usual. Get wood. Okay, we don't want to hear
Too easy,
that.
too easy, low-hanging fruit.
Make a house, mine things, get stone, etc. In the middle of getting stone tools, I come across this huge cave system. Did it start getting tighter? I mined some stone, created...
I get it, because that's the origin of WAP Spaghetti.
Oh, that I was actually referencing the last Minecraft story we read. It's like, it's getting tighter, the walls are getting tighter.
I don't remember that because it was so forgettable. I just remember we made so many innuendos during Ted the Caver. And it was the birth of WAP Spaghetti.
And Mike brought up the classic video. I just want to ask if any of you have autism and how it's helped you in your Minecraft modding careers.
What the fuck is that a reference to?
That was actually at a Minecraft convention. Some guy asked a bunch of the creators that, and they just looked so uncomfortable.
Oh, that is tragic.
And DC says, me when, I when, me when.
Mood. Oh my god, I can't get over that.
Anthony, I did not see that. That sounds fucking amazing and horrible at the same time.
Okay, I think you mean misheard Minecraft, but yeah, okay.
Anyway, I mined some stone, created an entire set of stone tools, and went into the cave system. Everything was normal at first. I found iron, smelted it, created some iron tools, fought zombies, skeletons, etc. Is that something you do in Minecraft?
Yeah.
Okay. After a little bit of experience grinding in this cave, I end up seeing this strange shadow. It looked like a player, but that couldn't be possible.
I was playing in single player mode, so there was no way that anyone could join my world. I decided to follow it. It led me to an abandoned mine shaft. Again, of course it's abandoned. You're the only player. After placing down torches, collecting loot, and killing mobs, I found this one weird block. It was entirely white at first, but then it flashed between different models and textures. I saved at that moment before interacting with it. After saving, I decided to break it. Sorry. I picked it up and then the item name was all screwed up. I placed it back down and I decided to actually touch the block this time. A strange reddish Steve appeared in front of me, looking down at me. This is why you cannot write horror Minecraft stories. A reddish Steve. Oh, it almost sounds like a euphemism. I didn't care. I first didn't care because this thing wasn't attack me. This thing wasn't attack me. It was just staring at me. Then it had a bucket of lava in its hand. Bucket of lava. I just remember I was watching like these bunch of friends play Minecraft because it was like I liked their banter and it was funny. And they just used bucket of lava as a swear. I don't know why it was funny to me. It was just so dumb.
I showed you my reddish Steve. Please respond. Michael, no.
I will give someone $100 for proof that they slid into a woman's DMs with that. Then it had a bucket of lava in its hand and placed it down all over the mine shaft. The mine shaft caught on fire and I ran as fast as I could, but it went to a dead end. The thing is back to staring at me and I'm confused.
This thing literally tried to kill me, then stops trying to? What the hell's going on?
Eventually, it disappeared altogether. No trace of it. The mine shaft wasn't even on fire. Was it just a hallucination? I'm confused about the event to this day, wondering what just happened. I hope I get an answer someday. Well, that was dumb.
I mean, this certainly does sound like it was written by a Minecraft player. A typical Minecraft player.
Yeah, a child.
Dream Stan.
So
that was that.
what the hell? Is this a game or test of patience? I'll try the Reg Steve line on my group chat and share the results. Please do, DC. You're a hero.
That's not what I asked, so you're not getting the $100, but yes, please do that.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, I'm hungry.
Kinda hard to believe that this was the best story of them all.
I mean, it was the least bad.
Exactly.
It was mercifully short. I don't know if that qualifies it as technically better, but it was the easiest to get through.
Oh my god.
No, we're not reading another one.
No, we're not, because this one's too long right
Battery
now.
low.
But it's called Deleted Toy Story Treats.
Put it in the chat so that way we can go back to it another day.
Deleted
Yeah.
what now?
Toy Story Treats.
Tweets?
Yeah.
Am I missing something here?
Nope.
What do they mean by tweet?
Well, you see, the definition of treats, dear Raptor, if you just look it up on Oxford Dictionary or whatever have you. One sec. Treats. As a verb, behave toward or deal with in a certain way.
Battery low.
Noun. An event or item that is out of the ordinary and gives great pleasure.
But why delete? Why delete?
I think Chad
Charging
Raptor's
battery.
just kind of having a stroke right now. He's not making any sense.
Oh my fucking god.
We officially killed him. Think he's become so flabbergasted. He died.
No, come back, Raptor.
Only for
A Scooby
Mountain
snack.
Dew Baja Blast.
Okay. I'm gonna end up paying your dentistry bills one of these days.
Worth it though.
Why? That's not your responsibility.
If I'm the one giving him the Mountain Dew,
You're the one who's supplying him with this shit.
maybe.
Chad, you're a bad friend.
The worst. Yeah. Alright, so, yeah, I'm gonna go get something to eat myself, but, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I apologize for most of these.
These weren't even the worst ones we've read. They were just weird.
Baffling.
They're just really stupid. So, yeah, we'll be back with more soon, hopefully. So please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Same bean time, same bean channel.
Peace
Goodbye.
out, bean sprouts.
They'll certainly